Today's question is, how do you bring meditation into your day?
So I go through phases with it, is the honest truth. I, let's say 50% of the time, will finish my day on my pranamat with hopefully 10 minutes of like actual meditation, or even 5 minutes of like just breath. The pranamat being an absolute like a magic trick, because it drops you into that meditative space so quickly.
And when you're doing that, do you have a specific meditation you do, or are you just breathing and being present?
So because of the physical benefits I've had from the pranamat, which is that, so I have a wooden leg. You might not have noticed, but it's wooden. This leg here, which for the first 35, 36 years of my life, I didn't really feel, longer actually, maybe 37, 38 years of life, I didn't feel connected to. I discovered whilst on the pranamat one evening, because the pranamat has this ability to get you into your body, like deeply into your body so quickly. And it's very different from doing seated meditation when you're lying down as well, because your body's actually prone and fully relaxed. I discovered that I literally couldn't feel anything into my leg while I was doing a body scan. Nothing below the hip. I was like, I just don't know what is in there. I can be in here and inside the joints and feel all the way through my organs, and just here down was just like, it's like a dislocation. And so over months, I really put focus into like trying to get into that leg, and eventually one night I did, and it was a huge joy. And so ever since then, I just have the same kind of body scan approach. I mean, I've done different versions of it, and I unfortunately often fall asleep on it as well. But I remember hearing Deepak Chopra's son, calling him out one time, saying he went into the room to find his dad while his dad was meditating. His dad was literally snoring. and he said, "Dad?" He's like, "What? I'm meditating." And he's like, "Dad, you're snoring." He's like, "No, I was not." So if Deepak Chopra can fall asleep meditating, I don't feel so bad. But yeah, so we do that. And then Ho'oponopono is a thing that I kind of first discovered maybe 5 or 6 years ago. Because it's like, I do a mala of Ho'oponopono, and it takes 7 minutes. And it's a lovely thing, because it guides you towards this sense of, equanimity with the world around you and with yourself, and compassion and all this sort of stuff. It's the four phrases are: I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. And as you go through them, it's the technology of prayer that you begin to understand that you're adopting. The words don't have to mean anything, even as you say them first, although it's nice if they do, but they start to mean more as your body hears them, and your body will hear them, and they will have resonance, and they will hit your cells in such a way as to try to work out whatever those little kinks are, whether it's like parts of emotional blockages that are going back for years, or just bad experiences you've had the previous day, or little things that you're holding. I find Ho'oponopono an amazing fast route again to sort things out. You can hear I've got like speed meditation is kind of my thing, isn't it?
But I think that's one of the things that's so important about doing questions like this, because I think one of the impediments to meditation is people having a notional idea that meditation needs to be a 20-minute window or a 30-minute window or something, whereas really it's about a little bit every day. And like you said, bookending your day is really important.
Yeah, and so your meditation practice is a lot more. Now, you shocked me recently by saying you've been meditating for 2.5 hours a day.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so I've had a neck injury recently, and during that neck injury, all of my regular practices, like my yoga asana practice and my being in nature, hill walking type practices, which would have been sort of stalwart parts of my day, had to just necessarily drop away because I wasn't physically able to do them. And that left me in a weird liminal space where I was like, oh my God, I really rely on those practices for my mental health and my physical health and my emotional health. And I felt really just kind of lost. I was just like, what do I do now? Like, who am I without all these practices? And so I had to discover a new thing. And one of the things that I could obviously do whilst being sort of incapacitated was meditate. And it was one of the ways that I think one of the ways that I really wanted to address the healing was to try not to default towards outsourcing the healing by going, I need to heal by going to these people, but trying to look at going, I have all the answers within me and I can heal this stuff. But there's obviously root cause issues that have been brought up by the healing, and so meditation was a necessary part of that, like an inward focus and then a focus on my body. So that was an accelerated part where I couldn't do very much, and I was also in a state of extreme nervous system agitation. I was having a lot of panic attacks, and meditation was one of the ways that I could quell that stuff. So I was trying to meditate in the beginning of the day, in the middle of the day, in the evening, and then maybe little moments of meditation in between, and it just became addictive as well. It was working so well that I wanted to do it more and more, and I could orbit towards that. That's not practical, I mean, in my daily life, and so that's definitely dropped back massively. I'd say now it's more like 30 minutes a day or something like that, which is a much more manageable amount. And again, like you, I have a sort of morning and an evening practice. My morning practice largely centers around cards. So we have these beautiful cards which are called In a Moment, In a Breath, and they're by Joan Halifax, who is one of the amazing Zen priests at the Upaya Zen Center. And I love all of her teachings. I love her books, but she's now brought out these amazing cards, and they're such an easy way into meditation. I think for people who might struggle to think of a meditation to do, you just have these cards there divided into sections to do with like space and earth and what's that one?
Air,
fire,
water,
so the elements, and you can just shuffle them and pick one out, and on the back it gives you a little read through meditation that then gives you little points to focus on, or journal points, and it means you do a different thing every day and you're learning new meditation. So I think that's a really great way to bring it in. But in the evenings, again, I lie on my prana mat, and I always do an inner smile meditation, and that's a meditation that I learned from Moira of the Feminine Sexual Alchemy practice. It's a Taoist meditation, and it's about learning to smile to your organs and relate to your organs. And I think for me that was such a nice idea, because I spent such a lot of time working on my physical body in my practices, and then I go to therapy for my mind stuff, but I never really thought about like my liver. And then like in the work that we do and in our life, we know that our organs are fundamental to our health. I mean, they are the thing, and we're looking after them with herbs and nutrition, all this stuff, but I actually didn't have like a relationship with them. And so in the Taoist practice, you're relating to your organs every day, you're smiling to them, you're telling them I love you, thank you, you're visualizing a specific colored light. And then also in the Taoist practice, they believe that when you focus on the organ, each organ has positive and negative virtues that are associated with it, and when you focus on them, you magnify the positive virtues, and they could be things like patience or trust or joy or those kinds of things. And it's been really amazing. It's about a 22-minute meditation, so it's a bit longer, but it's a really good way to check in every day and to get into that internal space, and also to feel like you have some ownership over your body, and kind of going like, I can actually regenerate my organs, I can look after my organs, and if I take care of them, they'll take care of me. And I found that really, really comforting. But it's also not a meditation practice that's about like letting go of your thoughts. There's zero part about like, I must be in the right frame of mind, and you know, I'm doing this right or wrong. It's just, it follows a very specific pattern and a specific way. So even if you're stressed out of your mind or you're really tired, it becomes a very familiar, a bit like the Ho'oponopono. You're like, this is the order, this is the way I do it. And there's that ritual and routine, which I think is really beautiful.
Nice.